The patrol car dashcam shows Officer Dylan Mercer pulling his gun and pointing it through the driver's window at 11:47 p.m. on Route 27, drawing his weapon before verifying her identity. Was that consistent with the use of force policy? Red and blue lights reflect on the wet pavement. The civilian vehicle's front dashcam captured the angle of the gun in Mercer's hand. Officer Dylan Mercer's bodycam shows it was on when he got out of his patrol car. Special Agent Avery Collins was sitting in a dark gray Chevy Tahoe, both hands on the steering wheel. The window was rolled down halfway. The sound of light rain was picked up by his lapel mic. Mercer stood at the B-pillar, just behind the driver's shoulder. He said, "License and registration." Avery Collins answered, "I'm going to get my wallet." Her hands were still on the steering wheel. Mercer looked into the back seat and at the dashboard. The dashcam footage shows no movement inside the cabin. Her speed before the stop was logged at 54 miles per hour in a 55 zone. Officer Dylan Mercer asked, "Whose car is this?" Special Agent Avery Collins replied, "It's mine." The distance between them was the width of a car door. Mercer leaned down, closer to the window. He said, "It's a rental." Avery Collins stated, "I'm a federal agent." She added, "I have a legal weapon." The bodycam was still recording when she said this. Mercer touched his shoulder. He pressed the power button on his bodycam. The red light on the device went out. The patrol car's dashcam continued to record the exterior view. From that point, there's a 6-minute gap in the bodycam file. There is no video or audio data during this time. The patrol car dashcam only recorded the exterior. It didn't pick up clear audio from inside the cabin. Avery Collins's personal dashcam saved both video and audio automatically to the cloud. Officer Dylan Mercer opened the car door from the outside. He grabbed Special Agent Avery Collins's left arm. She kept her hands raised, up off the steering wheel. The cabin audio clearly recorded the sound of a hand touching a jacket. Mercer said, "Get out of the car, now." Special Agent Avery Collins replied, "I am cooperating." Her hands were still open and pointed toward the windshield. Officer Dylan Mercer took a half-step back. He pulled his gun from the holster on his right hip. The patrol dashcam clearly captured this movement through the Tahoe's windshield. The rear dashcam of a pickup truck stopped about 100 feet away also recorded a view from the left side. Mercer aimed his gun through the open doorframe. He said, "Put your hands up." Special Agent Avery Collins raised her hands above her shoulders. She did not leave her seat. The cabin mic picked up the rain and the sound of the patrol car's engine. "Still running." Officer Dylan Mercer said, "That badge is fake." Special Agent Avery Collins replied, "Credentials are in the right pocket." The distance between the muzzle of the gun and the driver's chest was recorded at an angle through the glass. There was no hand movement toward the waistband from Avery Collins in the cabin's frame. The patrol car's headlights shone directly into the rearview mirror. The rear dashcam recorded the driver speaking softly and continued to roll. Officer Dylan Mercer held the gun with both hands. He stepped to the front of the Tahoe to change his angle. The patrol dashcam recorded him walking past the front license plate. Special Agent Avery Collins remained in the car. Both hands were open, palms facing out. The car's Bluetooth automatically connected to her work phone. The cabin's internal emergency signal had been activated. The sound from the car's speakers recorded the other end, confirming the GPS location. The patrol dashcam continued to record Mercer standing in front of the hood. His gun still aimed at the driver's door. Avery Collins's personal camera continued to upload data to the cloud in real time. Officer Dylan Mercer did not turn his bodycam back on during those 6 minutes. The gun was still held in a firing stance as the red and blue lights reflected on the road. The patrol car's dashcam still showed Officer Dylan Mercer standing in front of the hood. his gun held at chest level and aimed at the driver's door. Special Agent Avery Collins' dashcam continued to record audio inside the cabin. Mercer's bodycam had no data for the ongoing 6-minute period. The voice of the Atlanta field office dispatcher came over the Tahoe's speakers. The system confirmed the emergency signal and GPS coordinates. The patrol dashcam recorded Mercer turning his head toward the windshield when he heard the sound from the cabin. Officer Dylan Mercer said, "Turn that off." Special Agent Avery Collins did not lower her hands. Both hands remained open, level with her ears. The cabin's Bluetooth clearly picked up the sound of wind and a distant helicopter. The sound of rotor blades appeared after about 2 minutes. The patrol dashcam recorded a light from above, shining down on the road. Mercer took 3 steps back toward the right shoulder. His gun was still held in both hands. A voice from a loudspeaker on the helicopter broadcast down to the street. "Put the weapon on the ground." Officer Dylan Mercer turned his head up toward the sky. He looked toward the source of the light. The gun was still in his hands. The patrol dashcam recorded his shadow on the wet pavement. The sound of 4 SUV engines approached from the north. The truck's rear dashcam clearly recorded 4 black vehicles moving into a blocking position. The car doors opened while the wheels were still slowly rolling. People in body armor and helmets got out. A second voice from a loudspeaker echoed from the ground. "Drop the weapon. Get on the ground." Officer Dylan Mercer looked toward the newly arrived vehicles. He placed his gun on the pavement about 3 feet from his feet. The patrol dashcam clearly recorded the gun lying on its side next to the white line. Mercer kneeled, both hands behind his head. The spotlight from the helicopter kept the image steady. 2 people in body armor approached him from behind. One kicked the gun away. The other cuffed Mercer's hands with metal restraints. The sound of the cuffs locking was clearly recorded by a nearby dashcam. Officer Dylan Mercer said, "I'm a police officer." A person in body armor replied, "You're being detained." The patrol dashcam continued to record as Mercer was brought to his feet. 2 people held him by each arm. He was led toward the lead SUV. Special Agent Avery Collins was still sitting in the Tahoe. Her hands were down after she heard the command over the loudspeaker. She opened her door when a person in body armor signaled. She stepped out. About 3 feet from the door, a person in body armor asked, "Is anyone injured?" Special Agent Avery Collins answered, "No." She pointed toward the gun lying on the pavement. Another person photographed the gun's position with a handheld device. The distance between the gun and the driver's door was measured and recorded. A federal agent's bodycam clearly showed Mercer being held standing next to the SUV. The Tahoe's cabin audio recorder was still connected. The 6-minute audio file from the personal camera was confirmed to have finished uploading to the cloud. A technician approached Mercer's patrol car. He opened the driver's side door. He checked the dashboard and the bodycam's status. The device showed it was manually turned off at 11:47 and 30 seconds. There were no system error warnings. The patrol dashcam recorded Mercer standing in front of the Tahoe before being detained. There was no footage of a lane change prior to that in the file. The speed was shown as a steady 54 miles per hour. A federal agent clearly stated the time and location into his chest-mounted camera. The Route 27 sign and mile marker 44 were visible in the frame. A screenshot from the cloud server was saved to a portable hard drive. Officer Dylan Mercer was put in the back seat of the black SUV. The door was shut. The cuffs remained on. The gun was placed in a sealed evidence bag. Another agent opened the trunk of the Tahoe. He did not touch the items inside. He just observed and recorded the whole scene. Special Agent Avery Collins stood about 15 feet from Mercer. She held her service phone in her right hand. Her screen was still open to the connection with the Atlanta field office. A voice on the phone asked, "Confirm subject is secure." She replied, "Subject is secure." The clock on the Tahoe's dashboard read 11:52 p.m. The on-scene report noted a 6-minute gap in Officer Dylan Mercer's bodycam footage. The SUV door closed behind Officer Dylan Mercer at 11:53 p.m. The federal convoy left Route 27. Heading south, Mercer's patrol car dashcam kept recording until the engine was shut off in the Pine Ridge County Sheriff's Office parking lot. The sheriff's station sign came into view on the lead SUV's dashcam. The dashboard clock showed 12:20 a.m. The main door opened as Sheriff Grant Holloway stepped outside. He stood about 25 feet from the lead car. He wore the county patch on his shoulder. Sheriff Grant Holloway said, "Let my man go." ASAC Logan Pierce got out of the second SUV. He held a thin file folder in his left hand. 2 agents stood behind him, restraining Mercer. Logan Pierce replied, "He's under federal arrest." They took Mercer inside through an east side door. The hallway security camera showed him in handcuffs, with an agent on each arm. Mercer's gun was placed in a sealed evidence bag, the case number clearly written on a white tag. In interrogation room B, a metal table was bolted to the floor. Mercer sat in the right-hand chair, one hand still cuffed to a steel bar. ASAC Logan Pierce sat across from him. Special Agent Avery Collins stood leaning against the back wall. A technician opened a laptop on the table. The patrol car's dashcam file played on the screen. No lane violations in the 5 minutes leading up to the stop. The cabin audio from the cloud server played next. The 6-minute bodycam gap showed up on the timeline. Logan Pierce said, "The bodycam was turned off manually." Mercer looked down at the table. He said, "I was just doing my job." The technician zoomed in on the timestamp when the device was shut off. The battery was at 78%. Plenty of storage left. No system errors. The federal legal team requested a warrant for Mercer's personal locker. The warrant was signed electronically at 1:15 a.m. 2 agents opened the metal locker in the changing room. Inside were 8 female driver's licenses. None of them logged into evidence. Each license was placed in its own bag and labeled. The names got entered into the federal system. 3 of them said they'd been pulled over on Route 27 before. No tickets on record. No arrest reports. Mercer was transferred to a federal holding facility in Atlanta at 3 in the morning. They replaced his cuffs with standard-issue federal ones. His temporary inmate number was printed on a plastic bracelet. The next morning, they served a search warrant at Sheriff Grant Holloway's ranch. The agent's bodycam footage shows them entering his private office. A black notebook was recovered from a desk drawer. Inside, there were records of cash and seized vehicles. They read Grant Holloway his rights before they cuffed him. He said, "I have a lawyer." The agent said, "You have the right to call one." 2 cases were filed in the Atlanta federal court. The case names showed up on the digital screen outside the courtroom. Dylan Mercer, Grant Holloway. The dashcam video and cabin audio were played for the jury. The 6-minute gap in the bodycam footage was highlighted on the screen. A tech expert confirmed the device wasn't broken. The shutdown was manual. They called 8 women to the stand. Every single one of them testified their license was held with no official record. There was nothing in the county's electronic records to back it up. The jury found Dylan Mercer guilty on the federal charges. The sentence was 22 years in federal prison. No parole. Grant Holloway was sentenced to life in prison under the RICO Act. The Pine Ridge County Sheriff's Office was disbanded after 6 months. Jurisdiction was transferred to a neighboring county under DOJ supervision. The new bodycams were set to auto-upload and couldn't be shut off manually during an encounter. Weekly spot checks were written into the new policy. A year later, the old sign on Route 27 was replaced with a new one. It didn't say Pine Ridge Sheriff's Office anymore. Special Agent Avery Collins drove past mile marker 44 in the afternoon. A traffic camera recorded her car passing at a steady speed. There was no patrol car parked on the shoulder. She pulled into a rest stop 500 yards down the road. The door opened. She got out. Looking back at the stretch of road where it had happened, there were no other cars in sight. This whole thing shows how a device turned off for just 6 minutes can change the entire story. 22 years in prison for one officer. What do you think about that sentence? If this story made you think, share this video. Leave a comment below. Subscribe to Power Misplaced Stories to follow the upcoming stories.